Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my friends from Amann and Burnett with us. Good afternoon, Josh. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kevin. How are you?
I just living the dream, my friend. So, Josh, can we talk a little bit about the types of law that you practice, my friend?
Sure. Primarily, I really cut my teeth early on in bankruptcy, so I guess I consider that still sort of the main area that I practice in. But over the years, that's also kind of developed into litigation that can sometimes happen in the course of a bankruptcy, and that in turn kind of led more to what you might call generally commercial litigation outside of the bankruptcy context, but still sort of dealing with discrete issues in business relationships, LLCs, corporations, generally with sort of a financial a bent to it, sort of keeping in with that financial related, bankruptcy related type of background. But that's primarily what I do. Bill also, as he'll say in a moment, does very much a lot of the same things. We have two slightly different backgrounds when it comes to that. Mine's a little bit more from the bankruptcy part of it, from a consumer background. Bill comes more from a creditor background, but that works very well. And those two different backgrounds complement each other. We often work together on these types of cases, and it helps for strategy purposes to have those two different ways of thinking, ways of approaching a problem. So when we work on those, especially together, I can give my perspective from there. He can give his different perspective, and whether we're representing a debtor or a creditor or a plaintiff or a defendant, if it's outside of bankruptcy court, we can help to bring a broader strategic understanding of what's going to work, what's going to be best for the client, because we can put our heads together with and share those two different backgrounds.
Josh, when you mention bankruptcy, do you mean individuals or just businesses? Do you do both?
Both, yeah. I mean, when you're talking consumer bankruptcies, really that's individuals filing Chapter 7 who can't pay any debts, or individuals or married couples who might file a Chapter 13 to, for instance, prevent a foreclosure and save the house from being sold by the bank, or dealing with burdensome tax debts, other types of things that might require a repayment plan in 13, as opposed to simply just a walk away, if you will, in a Chapter 7. But also businesses as well, small businesses, medium businesses. We're not the type of firm that's going to represent General Motors, but our business clientele are really smaller to mid-sized businesses, often closely held businesses where the owners operate the business. They're the shareholders. But bankruptcy relief and non-bankruptcy commercial litigation for those types of businesses is also a large part of what we do.
So, Josh, is the key to this to reach out early? I just see people who are struggling financially, they're getting foreclosed on, their business, no one will give them a line of credit on the business. And it seems like they just wait too long. If you're getting in trouble, earlier the better.
True, very true, very true. Bankruptcy has a sting to it that people find distasteful. Naturally, I mean, I understand it. But what people don't realize is the earlier that you approach those issues, bankruptcy or not, the better. There's an old saying, I don't know who said it or if it's just sort of developed over the years, but there's a time in the life of every problem when it's big enough to see, yet small enough to solve. So keeping true to that, any financial issue, earlier is better. Quite often, and it's okay, and we deal with it with as it comes, but the earlier the better. Quite often people will come when it's right on the eve of a terrible, devastating thing that's about to happen, like a foreclosure sale or some entry of an order in a court that's going to be devastating to their business or to them personally, financially. And that's fine too. I mean, you can usually deal with things wherever they fall, usually. However, earlier, of course, is better. It'll probably be less expensive. It'll probably be easier to deal with. And the damage mitigation, which is part of this always when we're talking about financial issues, is oftentimes better and more successful, maybe is the word, than waiting to the last minute. But if it is the last minute, still call us, and if we can help you, we'll help you.
Josh, what's the best way to reach out to you? How can people reach you?
Email or telephone is fine. The office number is 603-696-5401. You can hit some keys and find me there in the directory.
Yeah.
I give up my cell phone to folks as well.
Sure.
At 789-33-1850. And email is my first initial last name, J Burnett, Burnett, at amberlaw.com, AMBUR law.com.
Awesome. Josh, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to come on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks for inviting me, Kevin.